Good morning, people. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey. Today is April 8th, 2022, and it's Friday. Yes, another Friday. It's the day of the weeks. Time is moving very fast. I feel this seems like just a couple of days ago was Friday. It's just Friday is coming so fast, it seems. Yes, I hope you all are doing well, and the time is now about 7:45 a.m. Yes, it's already sunrise. Sunrise today was at 6 about 6:27 today. Yes, I love my sunrise. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, and it's overcast as you can see here, a lot of overcast. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do my taxes. I haven't done them yet. So with all that out the way, I want to talk about some things controversial, um, just very edgy. I see a lot of things with me. I'm loyal about certain things. There's no perfect person. My plug-in. Yeah, let me just move on the other side. Yeah, I'm using my iPad, and I just got a prompt on the screen that only 10% juice left on this device, so I have to sit closer to the outlet and plug it in. Brother, let me put the plug in. I thought I was going to have more time. Yeah, doing the live streams, it requires a lot. Okay, just put the plug in. Hopefully this works. Yeah, sorry about the camera moving there. Yeah, I talked about some of the things I'm going to be discussing, in general conversation about um, what we call ourselves. And I will be discussing why. I feel a little uncomfortable because I generally don't talk about people's channels, whatever, because that's not my style. But I may have concerns about certain content. The I have a concern about a particular channel, and I will be also tying this in with the new Supreme Court judge, and I did entitle this live stream "Skinfolk, Not Always Kinfolk," and that's the theme of this video I'm going to do, this live stream. Um, People are using now, the politics. See, it's not about race. People might use race as a weapon, but it's intent of people, and some people use race for their politics. It is now weaponized to leverage your will against your opponent. And that's the essence of what this live stream is going to be about. That the politics in the United States of America. Yeah, I'm born and raised here, and I am a veteran. Um, and my background, yeah, I feel to disclose this again, and I usually do on my channel because I want people to know who I am. I'm a black woman, born and raised in America. Both of my parents are black, but my mother is very light skinned, and she could pass as a Caucasian. And my background, um, when I was about 18 years of age, I discovered it was discussed our Caribbean heritage. So for like almost 18 years, not knowing where my uh, parents' folks are from, they're from different Caribbean islands. But I was raised, born and raised here. My parents are born and raised here. My father served in the military. And back in those days, people were, you had to make a statement, so to speak, about, based on your appearance, what community you're going to be a part of. And back in the day, you're either black or white, and you just stayed in that community, and you um, lived by the rules and the, sentiments of that community. The black community is not a perfect one. We're hurting, and I'm hurting. And life was challenging for me. Having a dual heritage, being a black person, socially, when you go for look for jobs, things like that. I was a black person first, and the things that I heard um, about blacks around me, and so it was really, sensitive. So either way, um, we're not a perfect community, but I do not like when I feel that the current politics, people are trying to double dip. People are, when it's convenient, they're going to say that they're a black person or an African American to win a seat in the office, in government, right? Wasn't that what, with the current vice president? Wasn't that what happened? Yes, hello, viewer. Good morning. Isn't that how she got in? On her own, I'm not going to say names, but the current VP. When she ran for president, she had to drop out of the race. She had, I think, less than 1% um, support. And then for politics' sake, uh, the current president, I guess he'd be number 40, was that was it 47th president? I forget. But either way, to help him swing the seat, the votes, he had invited her to, the ticket, the VP ticket. And they eventually get into the DC, But the current, you know, um, see, her record showed that she didn't really care or try to protect the wellness in the black community. But yet she's in because she's supposed to be representing women and minorities. But who is she married to? And again, that's her business. That is her business who she marries. I feel people should marry who they want to. But I feel that things are, our power in the black community is being diluted. We're getting people in our community, but they're not representing us. And I'm angry at this because of the cards that people play. The black card is a powerful card in this game. Yeah, this is a card game, and people take out their spades when they want to win a point about something. But they never really add into the deck. They're users. And that is what's really pissing me off. And that's why I'm also doing this video, that I'm pissed off. But I was using, with the current VP in the US, what's happening. So we just get elected our first black female Supreme Court judge. But her record, she is an ultra, what do you call it? Liberal. And her record shows that she is very lenient on sexual predators, that she um, gives them sentences that are like if you get judges and how certain when people get sentenced, what's the average penalty, punishment for someone committing a certain type of crime, where she was way below the average, being very liberal. And so the politics in current America is saying, okay, I want to get my will in. I want to create an environment. I want to change the structure of America. But I'm going to do so from the inside out using black people, just like black Americans were used in the War of Independence, the Civil War, World War One, World War Two, Korean, Vietnam, all these wars and conflicts. And when you come back home, you just treat it more and more like crap. And I've been through a lot of things, a lot of wake up calls, experiences dealing with the black public, especially my experience in the West Indies. It just shook me, the experience here that I used to live in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And I had no idea that I would experience what I experienced, but it, it, it made me more sensitized to the black plight in America. So I think as time went on after that experience in the West, living in the U.S. Virgin Islands and coming back to New York City, where I'm born and raised, it just opened my eyes about um, the life of black America. And to protect it, I had this strong sense of protecting our uh, position here in America. And when I had an opportunity to try to get my black friends jobs, they had come to me and I helped them try to get jobs. I just felt a duty, and then I felt I had a duty, I had an opportunity to even volunteer at a black hospital. I gave it my all. I survived 9 months. But I just had this strong urgency. Regardless where my grandparents were from, I live here. And I served in the military here. So my allegiance is to America, and in particular the black community. Black community as a whole, regardless of where you're from. Is either you're black first or not. So I take to heart when someone says that they are a black person, I take the word for it. I take the word for it. I mean, I know it sounds silly to say it like that, but I take the word seriously on a social level. See, anybody could outwardly skinfolk, but they have no allegiance to the group as a whole. They're there to just skate by, and if it benefits them to claim their blackness, they'll claim it. But underneath, they have a real contempt for you. But they'll fool you to get into, be accepted into the community, the black community as a whole, and then they just bring in their friends or whatever. But they're not supporting the group. So again, I feel this way very strongly about a particular, yes, the election, the current VP and now the current Supreme Court judge. Why was she put in? Well, again, see if, and you notice they made sure they chose a very dark skinned black woman, a very exotic first name. So it was almost very stereotype. But they got her in. But how she votes, how does she vote? And is that the method of how she voted when she was a judge, did it benefit the black community? But see, if you question it, then you'll be labeled a racist. See, they're using the black skin or even gender as a weapon so that, oh, you don't agree with so and so's policy, oh, it's because she's a woman or because she's black. So you get a 2-for-1 here. And they're only in because of the politics, because they want to steer the country into ill repair. They want to rob America of its glory and destroy it from the inside out using black Americans. And this sickens me. I love my country and it's far from perfect. I shared with you what happened to me last November regarding a physical attack and what the white police officers and the Hispanic police officers said to me and let the person go. It's a very corrupt place. I'm very protective over my country. I worked in many industries and I hear people from other places, or maybe people who are actually maybe born here, but their families are from somewhere else, but they have no allegiance to America. And they're selling America down the tubes. Down the tubes. And some so-called black people may not be aware of that. This could be happening because they're so colorblind. They think anybody who is brown, dark brown, or whatever you want to call it, is their kinfolk. But not all skin folk is your kinfolk. By their acts, you go by what people do. Anybody could look like anything. You're even having white people. We found this woman a couple of years ago. She was a white female. She is a white female. White parent. Both her parents are white. And she wanted to get inside the black community. And so what did she do? She started putting dark makeup on, skin makeup, put her hair in these hair weaves, black hairstyles, the braids and all that, and the hair weaves. She's blonde and blue-eyed. She married, I think, a black African fellow, had kids by him, and then they divorced or separated. Then she, with her new blackness and her black kids to show off, she gets a job for the NAACP, in the state she was living in, somewhere on the West Coast, I think it was. And then she started like a Jussie Smollett. She took something. She mailed herself something, and had her kid also look at it. Traumatized her kid. It was some threat, and then she wanted to get publicity. Well, it turned out that she mailed the hate mail to herself. Just like what Jussie Smollett did. That's how it happened with Jussie Smollett. He mailed himself something, because he was an actor. It's something, I guess, that they had a mail drop off, mail thing on his job or something. And he showed his boss and everything. Oh, I got this hate mail. But he mailed it to himself, and the job they didn't do anything about it. So he was upset, and then orchestrated he orchestrated his Nigerian American friends, and he even called them the N word, according to the text that what was read in court. Okay, and it turned out that he orchestrated the whole thing. Yeah, so he used the race card, the black race card, the homosexual card, what else? And then the Jewish card, because his grandmother's Jewish. So you got a 3-for-1 for Juicy Smollett. Okay? So he caused a lot of static in America. He embarrassed a lot of people in the black community and the white community, the homosexual community, all these communities that people had wanted to support him. See, skinfolk is not necessarily kinfolk. So either way, see, it's all designed to pull you away, to weaken you, weaken the infrastructure. But this another person, and I have to be careful. But I just feel kind of I feel very hurt and irritated. I was watching this individual's channel. I think I used to belong to, I subscribed to his channel at one time, and then I stopped watching. Yeah, he goes by the name of Black Conservative Patriot, and there's another channel similar to that name, and not to get confused with that other person, but a Black Conservative Patriot, and he came out around the time when Trump was running for office. And what you see is a dark-complected black man, and his channel, Black Conservative Patriot, that's what he was promoting, that he was a black man and a conservative. And so the lure to that name is not really thought of, that black Americans could be conservative. I mean, that's what he was selling, that he is a black conservative. And so it wouldn't appeal to many of the viewers. That's what he was selling, that he was a black man and a conservative, and he was a patriot, black conservative patriot. Okay. And his channel was even taken down. This was early on in his channel. And then he had to start a new channel because the YouTube had pulled it off. So he had to start from scratch. Well, now he's a big, fancy, he has a big, flourishing channel. Several hundred thousands, I think. I forget exactly how many. But yeah, he's doing very, very well. But I have this against him. Now, I love his work. I mean, his work is good. His work is very good. His content, I should say, is very good. But I feel that he's using the black card too. And is pulling from my black community, our black community. And it's really irritating me when I had stopped watching him, but now I'm getting all these recommendation videos. When they YouTube gives you shows you videos that suggests videos for you to watch. So I say, hey, I haven't seen him in a while. But I had stopped watching him. But I say, hey, let me just take a look at this video. And so in this video, he was talking about his concern, what's going to happen in, he said, 86 more days from now. July 1st, he believes something is going to be happening politically. And about concerns about, we have to get supplies, especially food, I was surprised. He never talked like this before about like almost like a fear, putting fear out there. I never saw him do that, and I think that's why I was very curious because the title that something's going to happen in 86 more days. So that's what caught my attention. And he started to use the black card. He was talking about the black woman who won got elected for the Supreme Court judge. And he was saying, repeating it, that he's a black man, he's a black American, and repeating it. And now my anger started rekindling. He says, well, why? If he's a black man and he's a conservative and a patriot, well, I don't, I, that's where the line draws. And that's where what I feel, what's things that he has shared. Now, why I stopped watching his channel. Again, the content in general is very good. He's very professional about that. He's married and has children. And this is what my real concern is about his channel, Black Conservative Patriot. Now, I too I felt suckered into watching his channel based on his name, the name of the channel, Black Conservative and a Patriot. Because not many blacks you hear in America that they love their country. I love my country too. And so it was very refreshing to hear that. So that's why I decided to subscribe. And I think many people subscribe for the same reason. Oh, wow, a black, and he's a conservative and a patriot over the country. But I started feeling, hey, how much of a patriot is he? Now, again, it's sensitive what I'm gonna talk about. And again, people have a right to identify with any group. I mean, if so long that they are from that group, you should be able to marry who you want to marry, love who you want to love, live where you want to live. But when I feel that you are double dipping or exploiting a name and you really don't represent that name, okay. Now, yes, his phenotype is that of a black man, yes. But what he really is, and where I think he should see, by his conviction, you could be anything, but your conviction should have been what the title of his channel would be. But I think he knew that if he would have altered the name, it wouldn't have fly here in America. He calls his channel Black Conservative Patriot when by his conviction, I think his true identity, what he really identifies with, which is his business, that he is someone of Hispanic origin. He is a Hispanic man. And like in New York City has different racial, ethnic categories. They have white, non-Hispanic, black, non-Hispanic, Hispanic, Asian, and Pacific Islander. And then they have other. That's basically it in New York City. And then you choose which one. Now, his mother is Hispanic from the West Indies background. And I think his father is an American black of some type. He speaks Spanish, which is his business. He is also married to a Hispanic woman from Mexico, which is his business. And he has very close ties to Mexico because of his wife, which is his business. But when it comes to what he really identifies with, now again, all along, he goes out his way to say that he's a black American. When in actuality, if he was living here in New York City, he'd be required to put down Hispanic. And so also, yes, in this video, I know it sounds like a nitpicking, but I'm trying to make a point. See, people are taking your label when it's beneficial to get attention. Calling himself Black American Patriot gave him the attention and the platform for people to listen to a Black American Patriot. But he's actually Hispanic. And in New York City, where I live, he would be required to put down Hispanic. And so you say, well, what? So what? Okay. When he then makes mention about he has businesses abroad. And none of his businesses are in the Black community. He has businesses set up throughout Latin America, as he shared with the public. So if all your interests, there's none of his interests that is focused on the American Black community. All his business ventures, according to him, what he shared, was in Latin America. That's how he worded it, that he has multiple business enterprises in Latin America. How come he doesn't have any businesses in Black America? Again, he's supposed to be a patriot, right? He's a Black American patriot, but yet he's not showing love to the American Black community. And that's where I drew the line. And I became angry. Now, again, he could have 1,000 businesses wherever he damn pleases. But why sell a label that you are a Black American when all your interests are the Hispanic community, and not even the Black Hispanic community? He is married to a Mexican woman, which is his business, and there's nothing wrong of being from Mexico, and there is nothing wrong being Hispanic. But if he felt it so important to let people know that he has businesses throughout Latin America, yet he's an American guy, a Black American, and a patriot at that. But how many Black Americans are benefiting financially under him? So it made me feel that he's exploiting the way he looks to get jobs as a Black person when his interest is outside of the United States of America and outside of the Black American community. How do we benefit? He benefits. He benefits by setting up a channel, like baiting you that he is something that he by his actions, by his words alone. His words show. His words, what he shared, what he's all about. And is about using what I feel based on what he shared to the public on his channel. He had he didn't need to share that about his background, who he's married with, who his mother is, his language, and he's interested in moving. He wants to move to Texas or South Florida, just for that reason of the Hispanic culture, according to him. In his new video that came out yesterday, which is his business, where he wants to move to with his wife. But again, it's not anything about living amongst Black Americans and even their patriots. His channel is increased in size you wouldn't believe. Very high numbers. Very, very high numbers. But none of it is about the American Black community, any outreach to them. He's here in America, and he's here to surround himself by other fellow Hispanics, which is his true identity. And again, nothing wrong with uh, that community. But don't put a label up there for people to sample and say that you're ethnically one thing. And now, when he becomes popular, then he starts to abbreviate his channel from Black Conservative Patriot to BCP. And I was starting to think, wow, when is he going to just drop the name Black and just say Conservative Patriot? And that's why I think I stopped. That's when I stopped watching. When he started, because like when he shared about his background, who he's married to, and then about his business adventures, only being in Latin America, I felt a little uncomfortable, and I felt like a charlotte, like almost like being fooled, like his intent, like a bait and switch. And I said, wow, I feel like in a matter of time, he's just going to now just drop the word Black. He should have just, if he was really authentic, in just my opinion, if he was really authentic about his identity, because who he married, who has had his business adventures with, where he wants to retire and live amongst people of um, his other heritage. He should have been and called his channel. He could call it the Black Latino Conservative Patriot or just Hispanic Conservative Patriot. But see, a lot of Hispanics, especially those Black Latinos, many of them, like from Cuba, are conservative. So it's no biggie. It wouldn't get traction because many Hispanics from that community, uh, Cuba specifically, are conservative in general. So it won't fly. But to say, hey, I'm a Black American and a patriot, boom, that's considered an oddity. He marketed, so to speak, and became a big hit. And now that he's so popular, now he's up, call himself BCP. And I feel eventually he's just going to drop the word Black entirely because he got what he wanted. He got the popularity. But then now, the video that he uploaded yesterday about the Supreme Court judge, the female who just got in, keeps saying, "Oh God, I'm a Black man. I'm a Black American." And why? Why, buddy? Why even mention? Why? It's just phony. I love my country. See, I love my country. I'm an American patriot, and I don't double dip. I don't put a label out there for people to like me or hate me according to that label. I am who I am. I'm upfront with people, and I know what it's like to not be liked. I know what it's like. I know it's like you're not when you're not really fully treated as an American or Black American. My accent's a little different than many others, Black Americans, but I am a Black American. Both of my parents are. And I served my country. And I served the community that I live in. I don't say that I'm one thing. Excuse me. I don't say that I'm one thing, but I'm married, or I uh, put all my financial eggs in a different community than my own. Yeah, I live right here in New York City, where you're looking at. And I went out of my way, took that train uptown, as they said, to buy black, right? A lot of American blacks are being suckered, and we are spending our dollars on people because we think that they look like us and about us, but they are not. We put them in office like we put in Obama. Obama was not about the black community. Our current vice president is not about the black community. Who is she married to? Again, it's her business who she wants to marry. But what their record speaks for and what they're being used to do against the black community. They use us, abuse us, and then they leave. They leave us stranded and empty politically. Obama was gone for a couple of years. And here in New York City was under all this stuff in 2020, all these riots. You never heard his voice. Never. We invite people, I should say not invite, we allow people to come into this point. We allow people to enter into our communities without really examining them to find out where they really stand. You have people getting, as I mentioned, getting really creative and marrying black people, like that white woman. And then she disguised herself to make herself look like she's a black woman. And then it turned out that she wasn't. So some people are so elaborate in their disguise to enter in our community because we have a lot of resources if we know how to use it. And outsiders know this, and they are running in to double dip. You even have people from North Africa. You had a guy from Egypt. Yes, he was a dark-skinned man with an afro, but he is classified as Caucasian. If you're born in North Africa, the U.S. classifies you as a Caucasian. But he lied when he came to the U.S. to get a benefit. Because, see, the U.S. is trying to correct its wrongs that it did against the black American population, to give opportunities for affirmative action or certain business loans to help encourage so-called minority businesses. Yeah. And when it was found out where he was from, it was a problem. So the black label is a very, very valuable label. But you have people who don't respect it and are trampling it. Now that dark-skinned Egyptian, I think if he would have done something like get in and then service the black American community, I wouldn't have said anything, I think. I wouldn't have felt the way I do. But they're not here to add into the black community or to service the black American community. They're servicing themselves. They're servicing themselves and feeding their communities, and then turn around and call you names. Yes, that's my other beef. Yes, I had, and I shared this before, I was in a situation and I had to go into a shelter, a homeless shelter for that location for 8 or 9 days. Most of the people that you see in New York City in those homeless shelters are black American people. And then the next percentage might be people from the Caribbean. And you had one white lady there that I saw. That's overwhelmingly American black people. Oh, what was the point I was going to bring out here? Yeah. So when you're in the shelter system, they make an assessment and then they put you in a long term shelter until you can get your own place. And in that other place that I was, and I was there for 13 months until I got this beautiful apartment here that you see here. They had an immigrant. I'm not going to give the name of the place where she's from, to protect them, because some of the people are decent people from that place, but it was in the Caribbean. Now I left with just the clothes on my back and my purse, and this creature started mocking me and making fun of that. How come you're wearing the same clothes over and over again? A real smarty pants. Okay, she was a student. She was working for, like, I think it was an internship, and she was like supervising when the director was out. The director of the that residence was away, and the position went to her head. Again, that the mass number of people at that shelter are all American black women. And yes, she was a black lady from the Caribbean. I'm not going to mention the name. She was showing off, and she tried to humiliate me. And she says, "Oh, well, I can give you a voucher. You could go get clothes." And, she never gave it to me because, see, she didn't have it, but she made sure she rubbed it in and making fun. See, they make some of these foreigners, and they could be so-called black people, when they see American blacks being in a position that is considered maybe beneath them, they want to trample over you. They want to trample over you. This is how they really feel about black America. And some of them know how to change their accent to sound American when need be. Okay? These are phony, you have phony people out there. Yeah, they can change their accent, make themselves sound more so-called African American, but they're from somewhere else and they don't like you. Could you imagine you got in a homeless shelter because of uh, a violent episode? You had to leave for your safety. That's all I can say about it. It was a safety issue. I had to leave where I was and just escape with the clothes on my back and my purse. And this immigrant from a black woman from another place in the Caribbean, from the Caribbean, and they're going to mock you why you have the same clothes on. Why didn't she give me the voucher? Because there's no voucher. There was nothing. And there were other people there. Woman from Europe, a black woman from Europe. And she was very blunt, more blunt about blackness. And rub it in my face. I said, wow. And me and another woman just kind of looked at each other like, where did that come from? And these are people who are like assistants or managers there. And I'm a client. I'm not a criminal. I'm utilizing a system. Thank God we have homeless shelters here in America. Anything can happen. Your house could get burned down. You could be in a domestic violence situation. Anything could happen. A Katrina could happen to you. A hurricane. And you have to go in a shelter until you can get back in your old place, or let's say find a new place if it's destroyed, or if it's not safe for you to go back to your old home. You have people who are skin folk, but they showed and proved they're not kinfolk. And they utilize and learn the system in America to take away from the black community, black American community. And you have American blacks like Juicy Smollett who capitalize on what they are and even lie to you. Juicy Smollett is proved to be a liar and caused tremendous upset to many communities involved. So when I see like that channel, Black Conservative Patriot, him call himself a patriot, yet none of his business things are here in America. None of them servicing black Americans, but himself and his family and the community that he really belongs to. I feel, and I tell him, you should change the channel name and call yourself the Hispanic American Patriot. That would have been honest. But I felt he wasn't honest or courageous enough. He knew it wouldn't play. He knew it wouldn't, they wouldn't have been interesting. So he puts the black label, get popular, and then boom. Now he just says he's BCP, BCP, welcome to BCP. I got upset. And I was upset with him yesterday. Yeah, people are taken from you. And you just sitting there and letting them do it. You let people take from your community. Why are you so poor? Because you let people take from you. You go to some countries in the world, and you got to prove so much that you want to be a citizen of that place or legal resident. Some places, this one place I checked into, 98% of the people are of that nationality, from that country. Only 2% of the population are foreign. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I don't. I'm not even angry at them. Why? Because I do believe you should protect what's yours. Protect and avoid what is yours. Let people prove what they are. If they're going to come into your black neighborhood and pretend to represent you. Remember a couple years ago, I outed this a woman who's living in my old neighborhood that I grew up in, as a black neighborhood. But yet she does not respect the residents there. To provide them, she had an opportunity to put in a chair, a bench, at the bus stop, to put a bench there. Now, when we moved in there over 50 years ago, there was a bench. Well, of course, after 50 years, it got broken and they removed it. And when she says, oh, well, we don't need a bench there, they can just stand, and when the bus comes, they can just run for the bus. This is what she said. She looked like a black person, talked like she's from, black America, but she wasn't. She identifies with another group. And I got criticized after I shared the story about what she said and did to that black community. I got criticized. I mean, of course, I did not out her by name or location, but I shared the story, and I became a bad person for wanting to expose people who live amongst you, and that arrogancy that pisses me off. her arrogancy. What if you have children or something waiting for the bus and it's raining? You don't think that you might want to sit down and put your packaging on the chair and the shelter thing, that thing to cover you from the snow and rain? Well, she doesn't believe that you should have it. And then you wonder why some neighborhoods, why in New York City you have the white areas that have them, but not a lot of blacks. Why? Because you have some so-called black people. They look like black people, talk like black people, but then they say, oh no, I'm really this other thing. And then screw you over. But they get in because what they look like. And then they harm the black community and show contempt. They say, well, you can wait or get a bus schedule. Get a bus schedule and run outside when you see the bus coming. Well, you can get hit by a car. It's a very dangerous intersection. And of course, she has a car, she and her husband. Okay? You have black people in key positions that can help the black community where they live amongst, and then deny you social benefit, what do you call it? Like amenities, such as a bench to sit on. What if you're elderly waiting for the bus? What if you have little children, babies, and you need to sit down because bus is not always on time? But no, she's going to live there in a fancy place, get in a position of politics, local politics, and then vote against getting a bench for you to sit down on and say, oh, well, yeah, but she has a car. What if her car gets broken? What, she's going to wait and attempt to run across that street and get hit by a fucking car? I am so fucking angry. I am angry. What you hear from me is anger. Anger of skinfolk that is not kinfolk. And I feel that the Supreme Court judge that just got in, the black female that got in, it's going to be another one like that. Skinfolk but not kinfolk. And going to work against your black community. And you have people like Black Conservative Patriot. It's going around when it's convenient how black he is, but not married to a black person. Not of the black culture, and then he wants to live amongst his other culture. See, that's his true identity. And nothing wrong with that identity. Nothing's wrong with that. But it's wrong when you use a label to bring people into your channel that you don't represent. But then behind closed doors, you are doing other things. You're supporting other community, but yet you're benefiting from the black label. Cut it out and be a real man and change the channel name. That would be real man. Yeah, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it, people. Fucking liars in our community, sucking us dry. Yeah, I'm hurting. I'm hurting, people. I'm hurting. I've experienced a lot. Yeah, I don't think I'm being wrong. I don't feel I'm wrong. I had a friend from the Dominican Republic, a dark-skinned Dominican girl. That's the Dominican Republic is in the Caribbean. In fact, the Dominican Republic is the oldest place in the Americas. We're the first kidnapped Africans were sent to, and it was enslaved the longest, one of the longest. So around in 1504, 1503, the first slave ships were brought there to the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo. And this friend that I had from there, she was going to go in the military. I had just got enlisted, but wasn't sent out yet, and she was thinking about joining the military. So I go with her to the recruiter, and so the recruiter was just going to put down black, but she made certain. She told him, "No, I am Hispanic." She says, "Oh, okay," and so she changed it. So, and that's her business. Shouldn't this guy, black conservative patriot, if you're married to someone of the Hispanic culture, you speak that language, you eat their food, you want to retire to a Hispanic community in Texas or Florida, and all your business adventures are in Latin America, and none of it in Black America, but yet you're selling a black label. People start wising up. Everybody's making money off of us, but none of them are putting money back into our community. Be more selective who comes into your community. Let them earn it. Let them earn their keep here. That's all that I want to say. Yeah, yeah. See, it's warfare. It doesn't matter what anybody's race or nationality is, but what matters when people use things falsely to manipulate, to gain favor, but they have no conviction behind it. Be careful. Protect what's yours. Because times are coming quickly, people. Times are coming very quickly where they're trying to use Black America to throw down America, to destroy America. And some black Americans might say good for America. But see, they're also going to get you. They don't like you either. They're going to use you to destroy your own home, your community, your country. And then they will destroy you as well. They're not a friend to you. And that's what I want to make sure you know. They're not your friend either. And they're going to destroy white America, Black America, Hispanic America, Asian America. They're going to pull down all of America. That's what their goal is. They're destroying the home. They're destroying your identity, who you are. Now they want people to don't, not know what their gender is. This is all to confuse you, to break you apart slowly and slowly and slowly. This is what's happening. And they're using, because see now Obama, okay, they saw through Obama eventually. So they're going to make sure this Supreme Court judge looks chocolate on both sides of her family. But what is her record? What is her record? She lets people out early, sex offenders out early, 40% less time they get. And some of you may even say, well, good for them. Good that they get those criminals out early. Because many of them are black folk. Well, do you want that black folk in your home, a rapist living next door to you, a murderer? People, a criminal is a criminal, regardless of their race, nationality, religion. You want those criminals out, away from your community. I got assaulted last November. It was the day before Thanksgiving. And I got assaulted by someone on the street, in the middle of everything. I was crossing an intersection, broad daylight at around 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And the cops let her go. They brought her to the hospital. 4 days later, she was in my neighborhood. Yeah, you don't want to be a victim of a crazy person, a criminal. I don't care what you are, I care about what you do. I don't care what your race, religion, nationality, anything. I care what you do in my community. And some of you don't see it until it happens to you. The jobs are being taken over in New York City. Very few people, New Yorkers, native New Yorkers, I see here in those jobs. And no, this is not an anti-immigrant rant. No, not at all. But I'm just saying, when a country, when employers are no longer hiring you because they want to save a penny, that's all of it is about. It's about economics. And they want what's cheaper. Cheaper doesn't mean cheap. It's costing you money. When you bring in people who are not documented, when they bring their families over, who's going to support them? Your tax dollars. Whose community do they generally move into? But the black community. Why is the black community so poor? Because you have people sucking out our resources. And you have insiders that infiltrate black organizations and they destroy them from the inside out. But you know, some of us are waking up. And we see through the political games that is being played. And they're saying enough is enough. Enough is enough. Love your children, love your families, and stay together. Be honest with yourself in your dealings with people, regardless of what they are. Because one day you may need somebody else's help. And you should live a life of integrity, because it's what elevates society as a whole. All of America is in harm's way. And the people who are trying to destroy us is trying to find our weak spot, take advantage and destroy it. Don't let them get it. It is not a perfect country, but it's my country, and it's your country if you're born here. Stand behind your country, expose what is evil, and do the right thing. Do the right thing. Pray for our country. Pray for our families and neighbors to be delivered, to be protected, because time is short. Time is very, very short. So that's all that I have to say. I can't think of anything else. But yeah, I'm really sick and tired. I'm tired of these people sucking out from our community. Yeah. I'm sick of it. Yeah. Stand behind whatever group you belong to, stand behind it. Nothing wrong with that. But be honest about it. Honest about your labels, what you confess, or what um, your passion is for. It's nothing wrong of supporting your own group. Nothing wrong with that. But to deceive others and to benefit off of our label and have no connections with that community. I'm really sick of his channel. Yeah. So thank you for listening. If you love this content, if you too are an American patriot, I thank you for watching. Yes, I have a PayPal me account. If those of you who are patriotic enough to support this channel, you can do so. Just go my channel, Spirit Journey, and on the banner on the right-hand side, you see my PayPal me link. Just click on the link, follow the prompt. Any amount would be greatly appreciated, and I thank you in advance for your generous gift. Peace, love, joy, and power and wellness be unto you, the viewer and supporter of this channel. Until next time, thank you again. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.